Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future. You or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. Why? Because this is a general read. This is not a personal read, okay? If you want a personal read, simply email me and I will hook you up. Tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. All are welcome on the channel, and all contributions are appreciated as well, okay? Make sure you tell a family friend or to come on over and subscribe to the channel so they can be privy to these spiritual notifications. There is enough space in this place for everyone to be notified. Today we're tapping to the zodiac sign of Gemini, sun, moon, or rising, or any placement on or in your chart, okay? If you ever had a birth chart read, you would know that we are all some of this and some of that. And sometimes people go off of energy, okay? But to each his own. You can go off whatever you want, okay? All right, Gemini, we're starting off with number 20, Judgment. It says, all the signs say that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, Gemini. Judgment. All the signs say that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. So maybe, Gemini, you're feeling like things aren't where you expected them to be. Maybe you aren't satisfied with some things that could be taking place in your life at this time. This could be something pertaining to maybe your relationship. I'm picking up on someone who's married or someone in a commitment, a relationship. Maybe you're not happy in your relationship. Maybe you're just feeling like things aren't where you would like it to be, okay? So sometimes in life we have to pivot in another direction, okay? Maybe it's time for you to do some healing work, okay? Release any trauma, drama, toxicity, negative imprints that may have been forced or projected onto you, maybe traumatic experiences, things you have experienced throughout your life, Gemini. It is time for you, Spirit is saying, okay, this is the message for you to do some healing work, to come into agreement with the divine, that you surrender what's out of your control, and you forgive yourself and those who may have projected imprint on to you, and that you desire to close those karmic doors so that you're able to move forward. Gemini, you could be feeling like you are blocked. The Spirit is saying you are not blocked. You are exactly where you need to be, as the card says, okay? All the signs say that you are exactly where you need to be. Even when it feels like you may be saying, no, it ain't. Oh, well, spiritually speaking, we all are where we need to be. And sometimes, it's a good idea to simply let things be. According to your action, as well as your planning, we have to be realistic with ourselves, not just Gemini, but all of us, okay? What work have we put in, to assist ourselves to reach our goals and our desires? What work are we willing to put in? And are we willing to stand 10 toes down wholeheartedly in order to complete the task or to obtain those things that we desire? Whether it's a healthy, loving, nurturing relationship, whether it's a healthy marriage, whether it's making a family, having a loving family, beautiful children, starting a business, going back to school to further your education. It could be a lot of things. Maybe it's financial. Maybe you want to learn how to circulate your cash and be more frugal with what you have, because it's really not about the money. It's about knowing how to navigate, knowing how to prioritize, knowing how to put first things first, okay? There are people who can take a little and make it into a lot, and that's magic within itself. That is magic. That is the act of a magician. There are people who live lives whom you will assume that they are wealthy, and no, they just know what to do with what they have. They are grateful, and they know what to do with what they have. They know what's important and what isn't important, okay? And that right there helps create a momentum in their vibration and in their frequency, which also attracts, more prosperity and opportunities, towards them. Even things like maybe there's something you want to buy or purchase, and if you're very responsible and the universe and spirit is aware, we all are being watched and accounted for. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. But if you are, you're doing your part, it could be something you want to purchase and you want to buy, out of nowhere, then boom, you find a discount somewhere, or you find a coupon somewhere, or you find someone giving that away, or you find, all kind of favor and opportunities, will be attracted to you, according to your own actions and planning as well. So we can't expect anything to just fall into our laps. You know, if we want a healthy relationship, we have to be what we're looking for. That goes for everyone, male or female. We have to be what we're looking for. You know, if we want a better career, then we have to show that and be that. You know, you want good grades in school, the student has to do what? Show up and apply themselves. You know, nothing will just happen and fall into your lap, Gemini. So Spirit is saying everything is where it is supposed to be, and don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so critical. Stop with the negative self-talk. Oh, I love how these cards are flowing out. I just love it. I just love it. You know, I just love it. That's good energy right there. That's that. Ooh, that's that good. Ooh, that's that. Ooh, that's that good energy right there. Okay. So Spirit is saying trust that it is working out just fine. You know, sometimes we can plan and want things to occur in our life that we think or we assume that we're ready for, when in actuality we really aren't ready for it. You know, we even try to manifest, certain things, but Spirit knows, your ancestor knows, and God knows, whether you are ready or prepared to receive what you are desiring. And if you aren't prepared, sometimes, for your well-being and your best interest, it may not arrive when you want it to, but it will arrive right on time. All right. He's an on time God. Yes, he is. Oh, yeah. On time God. Yes, he is. You want me to keep going? May not come with. Okay. The first card we have here is the Page of Cups. So, Gemini, you have to get out of your head, okay? Tell your twin to bring it down, Gemini. Everything is going to work out just fine. Stop being so hard on yourself. Look, at the end of the day, you're one person, and humanly speaking, you can only do what you can do and surrender the rest. So, tell your twin, Gemini. Yes, tell your twin to bring it down a notch. Okay, come out of your head. Don't be so hard on yourself. You do not have to be perfect. It is wonderful to obtain material things, but those material things are the extras. Okay, we are put here on planet Earth to fulfill our contracts and our duties. We all are uniquely, individually, divinely created. Yes, I'm going to say it, okay? And we all have our own mission, and our own purpose to fulfill while we're here on planet Earth. And in our own timing, individually, it won't happen at the same time, we will find what that is, okay? It won't happen at the same time. There isn't a certain age when it's going to happen. At the right time, and it will happen for you. And you will find out what your purpose is, and you'll work towards that. And you'll find more comfort. You'll find your fitting, your foot. You'll find your fitting with your foot, when you're walking in your divine purpose. And so Spirit is saying there are some things that possibly that you have been trying to manifest that may not be for your highest good. It doesn't mean that you're not deserving. It doesn't mean you're not going to live a life of prosperity or abundance. Spirit is just saying right now, it is not for you. We have something better for you. We have more work that we want you to do on yourself individually when it comes to negative self-talk, when it comes to releasing old energy, people, places, and things that may have you feel, have hurt you, try to sabotage you, left a negative imprint on your spirit, on your soul. And Source wants you to release that, resentment, release the resentment, Gemini, okay? And come out of your head, okay? Everything is where it needs to be. The next card we have here is the Knight of Swords. So there's no need for you to be anxious. There's no need to feel like like you're in an uphill battle, okay? I'm also picking up on someone who it's the message, okay? Don't be mad, don't be mad. But if you are that someone is going through a lot of hardship because it is their spouse, it is who they are connected to, spiritually speaking, sometimes you can marry the wrong person. Sometimes you can connect with the wrong person, even if you're not married. Maybe you just have a live-in situation. And it just, Spirit is saying someone is connected to someone whom is not their flair, whom is not someone they should be meshing with. And ever since you've been in this connection, it's up, then it's down, Gemini. It's up, then it's down. It goes from happy to sad, and it's happening rapidly for you. And, one moment, your spouse is pleased, male or female, and the next minute they're angry about something. And so there's a lot of toxicity. There's a lot of conflict in the household. Okay, 1 minute is good, then it's down. And so no one's life or relationship is perfect, but to constantly be disgruntled or upset or arguing with your spouse. And I'm hearing for years, this has been going on for years, maybe a year or two or longer. There's just a lot of back and forth and disagreements. And Spirit is saying that is your confirmation, Gemini, that this person just may not be for you. You may be comfortable, you may be in love, you may think in your mind, because we're all from different upbringings, that this is love. Some people feel that arguing and being in chaos energy is love because that's all that they know. We all are on different levels and we're from different backgrounds. And so because that's all that you know, maybe you feel that is love. Someone constantly arguing with you. I mean, to each his own. Okay. So maybe you don't know, but Spirit is saying the reason there's so much conflict, you are being spiritually nudged that possibly you just may need to separate, that possibly from this person, whether you're married to them, engaged, or a live-in spouse, because I see someone constantly trying to bring peace to a situation and that your partner is like turning their nose up. They see you're putting in the effort, but all that you are doing is not being appreciated. It's one-sided, Gemini. It's one-sided, okay? And so I know, as I made the joke about, I said, tell your twin to get you out of your head. Spirit is saying you're having this feeling, you're being nudged. That part of the message isn't for everyone, but this message is for someone. Someone is in a connection that they need to part from. It is unhealthy. Okay, this person, your spouse, could have some kind of dark energetic entity connected to them, some kind of dark energy attached to them. And no matter how much effort you put in, how much money you bring home, how many flowers you buy, male or female, okay, no matter how much dinner you cook or how much you woo, this person will never be satisfied. And you could be feeling that way, Gemini. You could be feeling like this person's never satisfied no matter what I do. Like, what is it? Like, is there a problem? You could be saying this to yourself, like, no matter what I do, they're never satisfied. That is a spiritual nudge, and it's up to you. You have free will to do whatever you want, but it's not going to get any better. You're being nudged. People come into our lives, for a reason and sometimes for a season. Everyone doesn't come into our lives to stay forever. It's just is what it is, okay? And so possibly it was meant for you to meet this person. It was meant for you to meet this person so you can learn the karmic lesson of what you do not need to deal with, okay? It's not to punish you. Spirit is saying don't take it to the negative. It's not to punish you. It's an experience that you were supposed to go through so that you can learn and grow and move forward. And so if you choose to stay, Spirit is saying it will not get better, okay? That's not for everyone, but that's for someone who's in this relationship where it's up, it's down, and everything you do, your partner is never, ever pleased, okay? They could be someone who compares themselves to what they see on TV, what they see on social media, okay? But it's time for you to change that with the wheel here. It's time for you to take the negative and the positive, and it's time for you to change that around, Gemini. You are in full control. You're fully aware and equipped to change this around. And so never mind the fears. Spirit is saying don't be fearful. Don't be concerned. You will be provided for, male or female I'm talking to. Okay, someone is probably watching saying, I know this, but nothing. You will be provided for. You will be provided for. Someone is concerned with that, okay? Maybe you had an idea, of being with this person for the long haul. Maybe you felt you could have a marriage to last a lifetime, or in a big, beautiful family. Your intentions were well, Spirit is saying. Your intentions were well regarding this person, but all that you are doing is not being reciprocated. So that means that it's imbalance. And when there's imbalance, that's blockages, and that's negative energy that'll come into the relationship. Oh yeah, it matters, who we hang around, who we allow in our life, who we date, who we marry. It matters. It really matters, And it doesn't matter if you may say someone, I don't believe in energy. You don't have to believe in it, baby. It's like gravity. Gravity doesn't need you to believe in it, but guess what? It's still present. Just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean that it's not happening. Okay. And so these are the things that it is time for people to open their eyes to. It is time for that. Okay. And there are people like me and many others that are spreading the message. We're on the path spreading the message about these things I'm speaking of and other things as well. It really does matter, who you mix and mingle with. Just like having an intimate smexual moment, a smexual moment. It matters who you interact with. Because you're swapping a lot of energy there. You're giving away your life source there. It's a lot taking place, and more than a fleeting moment, more than just a euphoric moment, more than just a climax. There's so much being, taking place, and people wonder, why they feel this way and feel that way, or, if you out there like that, you moving around like that, you swapping energies with a lot of people. Okay. Spiritually speaking right now, collective, you swapping energies with a lot of people. You picking up all kinds of stuff. You picking up energy attachments. You picking up their karma, and so you have to ask yourself, to have relations is a beautiful thing, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to do some cleansing and recalibrating, because you're picking up a whole lot of things, and people have stuff attached to them that they're not aware of. Okay. And so it looks like someone is really in a connection and their partner has a dark energy attached to them and they're unaware of it. Okay. And this person also could possibly, maybe you have heard before you even decide to marry them or move in with this person. Maybe you have heard about their reputation of every time they date somebody, this person loves to argue. They like to fight. They like to complain. This person loves to complain. Maybe prior to you making the decision to make them your partner. And maybe you felt that you could change that. You felt that you could change this person. It happens, male or female. You thought you could change this person despite what you were told prior to being exclusive or deciding to be exclusive with this person. But this is an unhealthy connection. And it's time for rest, Gemini. It's time for you to put yourself first, and it's time for rest. You will be provided for, male or female. You will be provided for. And I'm picking up on somebody who even bring all the money home and the person still ain't satisfied. They're looking for something else, They have a lot of things going on that you can't help them with. But while you remain in this connection, it's not going to get any better. And you're just, creating more karmic clearing for yourself, for you to return, and cycles for you to repeat, to learn the lesson from. Because choosing to stay is saying, I haven't learned the lesson and I'm not done yet. You're telling the universe, I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I haven't learned the lesson. Yeah. It's time for you, Gemini, to gather with like-minded energy, okay? And you see the Triskaline tat right there on this person back, okay? The power of 3, the body, the mind, the spirit. It's time for you to come into one with yourself and choose you. Choose yourself, Gemini. Choose self-preservation. Choose your happiness. Everything is where it needs to be. That's why this is here. Spirit is saying everything is where it needs to be according to your actions. And so if your action is staying in an unhealthy connection, everything is where it needs to be according to your actions. You are desiring with the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is someone who wants to build and create things for the long haul. This reminds me of this 10 of Pentacles here. This is generational wealth. This is long-term stability. This is security. This is victory. Okay. These cards go hand in hand with each other. This is what you desire, but it's not possible as long as you stay in this unhealthy connection and you know whom you are. This is just a message. Okay. So this concludes the read, and I trust and I hope, Gemini, that it assists you for your highest good. Later.